Hello everyone and welcome back to Boulder Cove. This is episode 11 and today is the day that we're going to start working on this huge national park that I've been talking about for a few episodes now. We're not actually just going to start working on it, we're actually going to finish it as well. It's a huge episode, you've probably already seen that is going to be a long one, and I'm looking at my project right now, time lapse only. After I cut away quite a lot, it's over half an hour, so yeah, we got some stuff to do. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hopefully you're in a comfy chair or a couch or whatever, and you got some spare time. You can take the day off now. Just get yourself something good to drink, maybe a little bit of snack, maybe, and just relax, because yeah, as I said, this is a big one. I've been working on this one for a few weeks now, and you know, when I started, I was really pumped for it. I was very much inspired. I've been watching a lot of Marble Mountain. 2020 has been working a lot on his national parks, and yeah, I just wanted to get in the groove of things and wanted to work on that myself. And once I'm done now, I can't just wait to just get out of that place and start working on, you know, city again, cityscapes, and just how this game is meant to be, because yeah, it can be a lot of fun working with nature and, you know, stuff like that, but yeah, it gets a bit repetitive sometimes. Definitely when you have just the assets from the vanilla game to play with, but in the end it all turned out pretty nice, and yeah, let's kick this off. Before we begin, I would like to start off by talking a bit about what happened, because I might already said this in a previous episode, but yeah, I was kind of dumb and deleted a lot of footage. Last episode's whole time lapse, I'm pretty sure, and live gameplay, so I had to redo that, and a bit of the time lapse for this one. So when I imported all of my time-lapse footage into the Premiere Pro, where I edit my videos, I had 3 hours of like raw footage, not sped up or anything, and that's not counting, I mean, the footage that I lost, that I accidentally deleted. So we might have been looking at 4 hours. Which is kind of crazy. I usually have maybe 2 tops, 1.5 if I'm well behaved almost. I want to keep them. I always say this. I want to keep the episodes short, but they just get longer and longer. But definitely this one won't be short. It's a sort of a special. Yeah, what I did that is not included in the time-lapse, I will of course include it in the live gameplay, but the thing that I did that got deleted was I basically did a lot of vineyards, and I'll talk more in detail about them in the live gameplay, of course, but I basically, in order to fill up a lot of space, instead of just having a plain old forest or something, I decided to want to do some vineyards. I usually do farms to sort of fill up a big space, but this area is quite steep, and of course you can have farms in rather steep areas, but I thought maybe I should try something special, try something different. So what I did was I just took some trees, different kinds of trees and bushes and stuff like that, and I used a mod called Prop Line Tool, and basically just drew a line on the field, like a line of trees or bushes, so it looks like they're actually yeah, proper vineyards, and they're quite cool, and I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, can't wait to show that one off. And also I built a hotel up on the sort of up towards the, not the top of one of the mountains here, but definitely very high up. And when I made that hotel, I sort of thought The Shining. I don't know if you've seen that, but it all happens at the Overlook Hotel. I did actually end up calling it the Overlook because that's what it does. It looks over the almost entire Boulder Cove. It's quite a nice location for it. It's definitely something that could need a story. I do have a little story already made up for it in the back of my mind, but yeah, that one as well. I can't wait to really show that off. I used what acid did I use? It was vanilla. I think I used a museum, locomotive hall, something. It's in the sort of unique buildings section of this game. Doesn't quite look like a hotel, but it was the best that I got. It was either that or something huge and unnatural, and yeah, it sort of fit the area. So I went with it and did a little bit of tweaking, and of course detailed the surrounding areas, and yeah, and deleted the footage. But the building still stands. So yeah, that's all good. But what we're doing right now, and what you can see, is of course we work in a national park. This is as I already said, it's huge. I decided to call it, I already named it something. I call this entire area, there are two like mountain peaks. I call it the Three Rivers National Park, and it's, well, you can already probably understand why I chose the name. It's basically three rivers meeting up and becoming one, and that river is of course the one leading down towards the swamp, and past can't really say that, Bournemouth College, yeah. And I decided to have a road going sort of right next to the river, following it all the way up. And on that road I wanted to have it, sort of a pretty special and unique piece of road. And on that road I wanted to have a few lookout points, spots where you like to stop and park and get out, and yeah, maybe look at the view or something like that. It's definitely a gorgeous view up here. So I wanted to have a couple of those as well. And eventually that road leads up to a camp, sort of like a summer camp, where you go during the summertime when your parents don't want you at the house no more, stuff like that. So I wanted that. And before I started building up here, there was just, as I said, three rivers, but I wanted something more special. So I did go ahead and I built a lake up here. You can't see it, but I think I actually deleted that too, but the footage. But the lake is up there, and it looks pretty good. And of course the camp, it's based right next to the lake, so it would be quite cool to quite a nice looking area. And it looked a bit dull, so I also added some like houses right next to the lake. Maybe people live there all the time, or maybe it's just like summer homes or stuff like that. That definitely could be the case, because this is quite far away from everything else. Scarloey is pretty close, but then again it's not that much to do in Scarloey. It's mostly an old mining town, but yeah, as I said, this is pretty much far away from everything, and it might also be the most rural place, I think. that we're gonna build in Boulder Cove. Unless you look at the islands, it's probably a lot more difficult to get to the islands than up here. But yeah, it's pretty much far away from any kind of proper city, of course. Now here in Three Rivers National Park, I went ahead and created a lot of pathways. I feel like that's the thing that that's everything I did almost. Pathways, and of course a lot of assets and props from the Park Life DLC. If you're not familiar with the DLC, you can create several kinds of parks, like a normal city park, a amusement park, a zoo, and also a nature reserve, like a national park. So I've done now 2 out of 4 of those. I've done the theme park and the national park here. City park I use all the time, basically in any kind of city, but zoo is coming up pretty soon. I know a perfect location for it. That will be a big episode as well, so yeah, it won't come up next episode, but sooner rather than later. This is something I always wanted to do. But before that, I of course had to do the national park here. As I said, a lot of pathways, a lot of these different kinds of assets, tents, camping sites, like a bouldering sites, where they climb stuff, stuff like that. Just placed down a lot of rocks, a lot of patches of grass, and a bunch of trees. I actually had to download a mod which is called Unlimited Trees, because I ran out. I think the limit is 250,000 trees, and I ran out pretty fast. Yeah, so I went ahead and downloaded that one. I don't think it is unlimited. I think the new limit is like 1 million, but yeah, I won't reach that because I don't know if you know, but this map is probably like 50 or like 40% water, so that's pretty good actually, because if it was 100% land, then it would feel very empty. But since the water takes up that amount of space, we do got a decent chance of finishing this series actually, because not a lot of City Skylines series, mine or anyone's actually, ends up being finished. Definitely ones that are more design focused, detailed focus. The Let's Plays, they do finish. They finish once you reach I think like 80,000 people. I know Flabaliki has done a lot of these series. I guess a lot of you already know about him, but if you don't, you gotta check him out. He's got some amazing series or series. I remember one series was called Sedona. If you know what I mean, then yeah, that was the best. It was fantastic, and that actually ended up being like proper finished. He of course had room to expand, but the game just stops working properly once you reach like not even just 80,000, like 60,000. The game just stops working. You can't speed up anymore. Like the simulation, that button to speed up, it doesn't do anything. It makes sense, but the game is not meant to be over at 60,000. You still got milestones left to finish, but yeah, I don't know if we're gonna reach that amount of inhabitants. Maybe, probably, and if we do, we're gonna struggle because yeah, if the game sort of got issues already, it doesn't got that many issues, but yeah, can't really wait and see how it actually turns out once you got 3 big cities here and maybe 50 or 60,000 people living here. God, it's gonna be a mess, but that might be years ahead of us. Maybe, probably not. Yeah, probably actually. I think I want to keep this going for quite a long time. But yeah, that's well into the future. Now I don't know if you have noticed, but something's different. The cliff texture is completely different. I went ahead and downloaded another mod called Theme Mixer, which basically allows you to mix themes, map themes. I used to have it on probably all of my other series, but I didn't think I would need it for this one. But the map theme that I already use, which I can't remember, it's in the description. The list, mods native list, it's down there if you're wondering. But that map theme is of course great, but it's got the cliff texture is not the greatest. Most map themes, the cliff texture is just dark. It's just a very dark color. It's no real texture to it. For example, any kind of vanilla map theme, the cliff texture is just black, basically, or very, very dark brown. No texture to it whatsoever. And I wanted to have some sort of texture because, yeah, it just looks a bit weird. I wanted to have like exposed rock, basically, in a lot of places. Definitely up towards the mountain. And the only reason, or the only way I can do that, is by downloading the theme mixer and just trying out different kinds of map themes. Import them and see how it looked. And I went with this one. I can't remember from what map theme it is, but it's a lot more bright, of course, and it does actually got texture, which is the most important thing. And it does look like it's exposed rock, because I did want that some places. Not all places, of course, but you know, most of them. So I'm really happy with how it turns out, and hopefully you are too. I do of course want to keep this series very minimum to, you know, the amount of mods and assets, but it's a bit hard. But when it comes to mods, definitely now I feel like I'm done. Maybe one or two more, depends on, you know, maybe one or two more that increases the FPS or just makes the game run a bit better. That's okay, I think. I think mods that just improve the graphics and the performance, that's alright. But you know, mods that drastically alter the game, I want to keep that to minimum, you know. So yeah, that's what I thought, and that was my idea behind that one. So yeah, I'm really happy with how these new cliffs looks like, and I also done a lot more other changes. I done some changes to the swamp. That is episode 8, I think. Yeah, it's a bit further back, but the trees that I used, I think they are from Mr. Mason. I might be wrong, but I think they are. I think they're called bald cypress trees. I might be wrong. I don't know that much about trees, but definitely that one. It's a great looking tree. Sorry, but it's quite. It takes a toll, and I didn't really struggle, but I noticed whenever I had the camera panned around the swamp area, I noticed like a massive drop in FPS, and I just sort of knew that it must be the swamp of the trees, or the amount of trees and props that I had used in there, because I think they're quite heavy on like the try count, the number of triangle. I don't really know about all that, but they're quite heavy when it comes to, you know, performance, those trees. And definitely once you chuck them together very close, very dense in one space, you might start to have issues. So, and it didn't really bother me that much. but the FPS was quite bad when I just panned the camera in that direction. So I wanted to do something about that, and I went ahead and removed all of those trees, and I did download a tree, sort of like a tree cluster, which is very low try count, and placed them down sort of like a base, and then have a few of those trees, the swamp trees that I already used, a few of them placed down everywhere. So you still got that feeling of being in the swamp once you're down like on the ground level, but from above it looks a lot darker. Those trees, the tree clusters, they're a lot darker, and it looks more lush, because the other trees, the swamp trees, they were a bit like pale. not really pale, but very light green instead of dark green, which was what I was hoping for. So I redid that, hoping that the FPS would improve, and improved just a little bit. And I thought, God, it must be something else, and I think it was. Of course, it did help removing the sheer amount of trees, and also props. The reefs that I used, they're all gone. They were props. But I think the silent killer, the one that is the mastermind behind it all, I think there are a type of house that I used, and I think it is the King Leno houses from the Content Creator Pack, the University City Content Creator Pack. I think they might be a bit brutal. I think, because when I look at Norton, which is a city that we built in like episode 3 or something, when I look at that one, I'm not having those issues, and those are just vanilla buildings. But in the town by Bournemouth College, that's where I get the issues. That's where I get the FPS drops. So, they look lovely, of course they do, but they might be an issue. So I might pretty soon try to just pick them out and replace them. I also realized that the amusement park is actually pretty bad as well when it comes to the FPS, but it's not really the one that's the worst. It's pretty bad because it's just a bunch of smaller assets that is bunched together. They're very dense, and that is really what is causing that issue. But the theme park, the amusement park, is not the worst one. So yeah, I sort of realized that the new buildings that the game creates, or the developers, that's the ones who are creating the buildings for the newest DLCs and stuff like that, they are more and more demanding when it comes to what kind of computer you have, because you shouldn't really need a giant buff computer with 64 gigs of RAM or whatever. You don't really need that for this game. You should just need a laptop should work, right? But with the newest buildings, they're just more and more demanding, and it's a really strange way they're going with it. And also, have you noticed there haven't been a DLC for a while now? Maybe almost a year? Usually they have it twice a year. You know what? I think they're working on a sequel, because it's very much needed. Because, to be honest, the base game, without any mods or custom props or assets, whatever, the game actually sucks. I gotta be honest. I played this game for 1,500 hours, which is a lot. maybe it's just 1,000 hours. Yeah, anyways. But you know, once I think I played like the game pure vanilla for like 3 hours. The rest is with mods and stuff like that. A game is not good when it demands you to really use mods that is created for free by someone else. So yeah, a sequel is very much needed, sort of fixing up all of the bugs and all the stupid stuff. Yeah, that was my little rant towards Colossal Order, I think they're called. Yeah, fix your game. Get a new one, get a sequel. God, that would be great, wouldn't it? I hope that's the case. I really do. Now, I've been getting a lot of stories from you guys, a lot of suggestions and stuff like that. And I love it, of course, you know I do. And I've been thinking of maybe sooner rather than later having, you know, every now and then, sort of special episodes, which is just stories of Boulder Cove, where I don't know if I just talk about the stories in a more scripted sense, or that the story is written out on screen, or something like that. Because what I do now is just, for example, I talk about the story in the live gameplay, and when I talk about it, it's of course no script. This thing as well is no script. So when I talk, it's mostly just me trying to figure out or trying to remember what you guys wrote, and sort of improvising right there on the spot. And I know it can be a pretty weird thing, because I'm standing there or sitting here talking about stories in Boulder Cove, and it sounds like I don't really know what I'm talking about, because I'm basically improvising it, trying to remember what you wrote. So I definitely want to do that, have special episodes coming up, very much scripted, very much focused on, you know, just the stories. And maybe also should need a place to write these stories or talk about these stories. And I know some other series have like a wiki page. I don't know if that is something that we should consider. I'm also thinking about creating a Discord server. I think that would be pretty cool. We could, you know, chat whenever about anything really. I don't know if I want to wait, sort of have like a 500 subscriber special where I create that one. I think we are 80 subscribers away from that. I think we are 400 and maybe no 430 maybe. I think we're probably 70 away from that then. 70 subscribers away. Maybe that. I don't know if you are keen on that one. If you are, and if you're still listening, then of course please let me know. I would definitely be open for that. So we do have like a proper place to talk about these things, instead of just me sort of improvising during the live gameplays. And I also wanted to, you know, do more with you guys. You know, I want to do streaming soon. I think streaming is a nice way to, you know, just show you guys the city or the region and just talk about this save game basically. Maybe also some contests where, for example, you build something, or I say build something that fits in this area, you build it, and I choose the winner, and then you export it via Move It. I think it's a possibility, and I import that into my city. Could be the case. That's also a thing to do. I know other people have already done that. Definitely something I will look into. Maybe also start a Patreon. That would be pretty cool. I know there I can just I can upload like the save game, for example. Hopefully that will be something that will be a way of saying thank you for supporting me. But I don't feel like that is sort of like the time yet. And I don't want to put anything behind a paywall. Anything that should be free, and it should used to be free. Like, I don't want to put my episodes behind a paywall, like have special episodes just for my patrons. Maybe they can get it like a week in advance, something like that, but I don't want to do that right now. And for example, a save game, I've never shared that one before, so that would be probably okay to put behind, like, in Patreon. But I want to. Now is not the time, I think, for Patreon. Maybe when I have a lot more subscribers, maybe, then it will sort of be justified. But right now, this is just a hobby that I spend a lot of money on, a lot of time on. And it should be like that for some time at least. I'll definitely think about it one time in the future, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. But I can't believe I've been talking for roughly half an hour now. I looked at the time lapse and saw it was half an hour, and I sort of thought, by God, how can I do this? But I wrote down a list of things that I wanted to talk about, and I didn't even talk about everything. I don't know if that's good or that's bad, but yeah, this time lapse is coming towards an end, and now there's some live gameplay waiting before we get some cinematic footage at the end. So yeah, hope you are looking forward to the live gameplay, and I'll see you there. Alright, boys and girls, and everything in between. This is my favorite view of this area. The bridge right here, the way the road sort of goes up there, and of course the lake and the river. I love this view. We got a car coming out there. Oh, two of them. Yeah, this is great. This is great. Yeah, this is the lake, and I already decided on a name, and it's a name that was once suggested for the town of Norton. I went with Norton, of course, but this is Lake Calcen, or Calcen. Calcen. Yeah, Calcen. I'm gonna go with Calcen. Calcen? Calcen. Lake Calcen. Calcen. There we go. Lake Calcen. And this is Camp Calcen. Right there. Quite a unique name. I kind of like it. What should I do? What should I show you? We should probably go down. And I should probably also mention that I did went ahead and built like a few paths up here. Didn't do that much. However, the game crashed for some reason. Never happened before, and I lost the progress. Didn't do that much. I wasn't really satisfied with it either. I have been thinking maybe this should be just left open. Like, this might be like a animal sanctuary or something that, maybe, I don't know, wolves live up here. I don't know. But they are, well, you're allowed to go here, but yeah, you're not allowed to, maybe you're not allowed to camp in this part of the national park. Maybe that might be the case. Anyways, let's go out the swamp first. Yeah, you can probably see it's a difference. It's a lot darker with the tree clusters. You can still see sort of the bright ones, the swamp trees. They're bright when you zoom out. Once you zoom in, they're great. So I don't know if I should fix that. I do have a mod that's called, let me see, adaptive prop visibility something, which you can change, you know, the LOD and stuff like that for the trees and the props. Don't know. I don't feel like it actually does anything. It might do, but yeah, default at 200. I got a 500. Yeah, I don't feel like it actually does anything. So that's it for that. But yeah, this is a swamp. Looking at it from a close distance, it doesn't look as good as it used to, of course, but I think that's fine. If you want to look at it all its glory, then you should look at the previous episode, but I think this is fine. I also, of course, hoping that this would solve the FPS issues, but the houses I think might do it are these ones from the Content Creator Pack by King Leno, University City. Like, the issue is in this town, and what this town got that Norton doesn't is these kinds of buildings. So yeah, that might be the culprit. But here are the vineyards that I talked about on the mountainside here, and I do love how this looks with the exposed rock. It looks like, you know, there's been like landslides many 100 years ago, and just soil have just fallen off the cliff, and maybe it's like a certain type of soil that is very good to plant stuff on. Maybe that's, I don't know that much about soil, believe it or not. It's not my expertise, but yeah, I do like this. Of course, it's very similar to the farms that we got going on here. They take up a lot of space, but the only difference is, of course, that they are vineyards instead, and they look pretty good. And this is, of course, the place where I got where I needed the mod unlimited trees, because yeah, it's quite a lot of them. And I also did something with this road. It used to be like straight. However, I sort of, for some reason, wanted to have a bit of bendiness to them. So that's what I did. Is it nighttime soon? I feel like it's getting dark. Yeah, I think it looks a lot better with how it like bends and turns and all. And it does, of course, make it a lot easier to have these on and off sections. You can just turn off here and yeah, just cross the river and stuff like that. Cross the road. Gonna pause simulation here because it's getting pretty dark. I like that. This area we got a small petrol station, gas station, whatever you should call it, and sort of maybe like a warehouse-ish thing. Farms, basically farms. And this is the road that leads up towards the to the Lake Calcen. This, of course, this is what I love as well. The sort of the entrance to the national park with these mountains here of exposed rock. Yeah, I really like that. You can have actually the time going on. Yeah. I also like this river quite a lot. We've got some pathways here. I did change the speed limit on this one, so they actually go faster than 30 kilometers per hour. But not too fast, of course. I really like this. I like this side quite a lot. Yeah, it looks like the river has like cut through the landscape and taken everything with it that is not completely solid, like this, like these rocks here. I really liked it. Then you got this road, which placed down a lot of patches of grass and rocks to make it a little bit more, I don't know, rural. And then is the first lookout point. These are props that I'm considering taking away because they don't really do anything. They look like parking spots, of course. No one parks there, and they sort of glitch out every now and then. So I might get rid of them. But what you got here? You got a cabin, which probably is always open or something. You can go in. Maybe you could like warm yourself up or whatever if you're walking up here. You got your restrooms. Someone's already camping here, which is nice. There's like a lean-in shelter, I think it's called. This is probably a map of Boulder Coves. And this is like binoculars that you can look down towards the rest of Boulder Cove actually, and the rest of the city. And a gazebo, and yeah, here's the entrance to one of the entrances to the national park. I don't know if anyone is walking up here. I don't think there's any need to, because I don't think there's anything on these pathways. But they're here if they want it. And if you go a bit further up, you eventually come to the second lookout point, which is the tallest one, and it's the one with the best view, I believe. Let's look. Yeah, this is quite great, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry about the FPS. I might try my best to fix that, but yeah, I can look over all of Bournemouth College and the theme park, the retail park, and you probably can see a bit of Norton. Of course, the what's the name? Nuclear power plant and water treatment facility. Yeah, quite a nice spot. Quite a lot of people as well. Also, someone's camping out here. Then you go further up, and for some reason I really like this thing. It sort of cuts through this little area, and this is a little bridge, and I do like this. I did this another place as well, but it sort of looks like a tiny river, a tiny creek goes here, with how dense the foliage is. So maybe during like rain season we do actually get a proper river running down here, but maybe right now it's a bit dry. But it's a nice place for trees to grow, so it's quite dense. And of course the bridge going across, which I really like. And then it's the Camp Calcen. I went ahead and I sort of wanted a main house, where the administration is, where they those who are, I don't want to call it students, but those who are in the camp for the summer, where they like eat like stuff, breakfast and dinner and stuff like that. Maybe they say room for playing games, I don't know, but that's this thing. Of course, these are 3 buildings clipped together. These are actually seafood restaurants just clipped together, and this is the nature reserve billboard, I think, that I just put on top because I don't really know, but it sort of looks like maybe this is the not the catchphrase of the camp, but you know, something along that line. Places where they can sit and eat and stuff like that. And here's the campsite, lots of firewood, and these are the cabins that, you know, the students, or whatever you should call them, resides in during the summer. Maybe you got like 4 or 5 people in each and every hut. Yeah, there are pathways going up here, but beneath that is actually just a normal dirt road. And I did ban cars from driving here, except garbage trucks, so, and like fire trucks and stuff like that. So don't burn down, and it doesn't. People can actually live here, and people do live here, I think. Yeah, we got 5 people living here, for example. They don't live here. Well, in the game they live here all the time, but you know, if this was a real place, they would just live here for a few weeks during the summer, I think. And here's another one of these river thingies, dried up riverbeds that there is a lot of trees growing in, simply. Probably a parking lot, this thing, and probably a lot of activities from the camp happens down here. So this is also part of the camp. So they go down this trail right here, and then there's like a campsite here. There is a fishing pier, a like lookout pier or whatever. Probably people can swim, jumping off here, maybe, I don't know. Cabin, and stuff like that. Got some tents up here, got a lenient shelter, and another like fishing pier stuff. One thing I want to talk about is when I saw this river that's flowing down here and eventually reaches up to the, or down towards the swamp, I thought about that one time I went rafting. I only done it once. It was pretty fun, but you know, you can't really raft anywhere. There's gotta be a proper river for it. Maybe that is something that they do here. So I had that in mind, and maybe they go here and then they like take out the rafts and, you know, gears that they need, like helmets and stuff like that, and they, of course with an instructor, of course, go down here underneath the bridge and just following the river. It's quite a long ride. So they continue down here, continue here, going parallel to the road, and then eventually they sort of merge with this other river, and then continue down here. This is probably a lot of fun. I wish this was actually a thing they can do in the game, but we gotta just pretend. And then they maybe they stop down here. That was my idea, that they sort of go in here, and then they have probably a bus or something that comes down and picks them up and drives all the way back, all the way up. And that is a day well done for the people. Oh my god. I was about to show you this little nice community, but it's on fire. God. Yeah, they look like they're about to fix it. Let me show you the other side of the lake, which is probably one of my favorites. This area right here. I should stop simulation because it's getting pretty dark. This right here, this is my favorite building. My favorite building so far in Boulder Cove is right here. It looks so great. It's got a pathway going down towards another pathway that goes alongside the lake. This is a very nice area. And there could be people living here all the time, but it could just be summer homes. But this thing right here, this is my favorite. Just how it's situated, and the lake and the little what do you call it? Waterfall in the background. Yeah, it's my total favorite. We also got one lonely house over here, all the way at the edge of the map, looking over the entire lake and the rest of this small community. Let me just use day night cycle, turn it off, and it's daytime again. And there's also one guy living up here. Here's a small lookout tower, but this place as well. This is quite cool. You see Scarloey down here. This place is quite cool as well. Not only can you see the entire lake, but you also can see this what will be a city in the future. This is a nice spot as well. But let's see if they're still on fire down there. No, they're good. Does it look like it? Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Let's pretend that didn't happen. This area I'm really happy with. It looks very much organic, natural, free flowing. Reminds me of the neighborhood we created in the last episode. I really enjoy it. It's here's some farm assets. There's our main farm building, and there is a man in a suit. No, he's gone now. This is a I think it's a potato field and a greenhouse. Sort of like a local thing. Maybe they have a farm sale here, or people who live here, they can buy fresh crops in this place. A lot of rich people live here. See, they got their own small piers here as well. It's a very nice area. I used to find it to pick out the buildings that were the biggest and the most mansion-like and place them alongside this area here. And also you can see it's pretty lush. It's got a lot of trees, and I think the reason for that, by looking at how this area looks, this could probably be a volcano or a dead volcano, which used to be the circle would be here, and it probably exploded millions of years ago, and one of the walls of the volcano fell apart, or maybe the water filled up the dead volcano. One of the walls fell, and the river, or the water just came down there and sort of just brought all of the debris from the volcano wall that bursts down towards this area right here. That could also mean, or that could explain why maybe this area is so fertile, because I don't know, but previous volcanoes, dead volcanoes, or areas around volcanoes that had or have erupted a long time ago, they're very, very fertile. I think it's something to do with the ash that's created or something. But yeah, it's very fertile. Like Hawaii, just go to Hawaii and Google Maps and see for yourself. There's, for example, a volcano that one of the walls have burst, just like this one, and water came in because it was very low to the ground, or close to sea level, and now this area, which is like the former dead volcano. It's got a coral reef in it, and it's very popular among tourists. I can't remember the name of it, but it's in Hawaii, on the main island, the same island as Honolulu. But yeah, check that out. This is probably the same thing that happened. So that explains why there's a lot of trees here. It's a lot of tall trees. I think these are redwoods. I like that. I like that idea. And we also got what more? Got a road leading down towards Scarloey. It's not a lot of people use it, but some people use it. And yeah, I'm happy with the amount of traffic that's in this area. Is there anything else? This episode has been going on for a long time. I hope you enjoy it so far. But yeah, this is Calcen, Lake Calcen, and this small community is probably also called Lake Calcen. This entire area. Is there anything more? Oh yeah, the hotel, the Overlook Hotel. Here it is. It is what asset is it called? It is locomotive halls. Yeah. So it's the halls are where all locomotives are stored, so citizens and tourists can come to admire them. No, they can't. This is a hotel with a train in front of it. So yeah, it's the one that sort of fit the best. What I also did is, like, on the back side, I took paths and I pulled them up. What's it called? I can't speak now. It's been way too long, but I increased the height of them so it looks like basically if you enter from here, like let's pretend it's a door here, then you like the first floor is actually the second floor, sort of, right? I can't really explain right now, but it's a nice view from this this hotel. I can show you right here. This is quite amazing, and if I know the Bournemouth well enough, I would bet that they built this area. They built this hotel. I don't know if it's got the same curse on it like the hotel, the Overlook Hotel in The Shining, but yeah, there might be goats in here. Did I say goats? Or I meant ghosts, like in dead people. There might be goats as well, probably, but yeah, maybe it's more natural to have ghosts than goats. I didn't know that was so hard to pronounce both of them, but anyways, yeah, this is the hotel that I built. Also got an entrance to a national park here. I wanted to place down some cars in these parking lots. The only cars that I had are abandoned ones, so yeah, these are abandoned and look like they have been on fire. But yeah, most people just park on the side of the road here, or right in the grill. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Yeah, sure. Let's find a good spot to end this video on. Let's go back to Lake Calcen, which is located right here in the middle of this former volcano, the dead volcano. Remember, this is called Three Rivers National Park. This entire area right here. I think I actually got it. Yeah. This is, here we go. Three Rivers National Park. All the way. So let's find a good spot. Is this nice? Maybe up towards the lookout tower. Or maybe just looking at it from above. Yeah, that's good. Lake Calcen, everyone. This has been an incredibly long episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been working quite a lot on it, so a like would be much appreciated. Definitely if you watched all of it. I some weird reason doubt that. I don't watch episodes that are this long. But if you have, comment down below saying that you have, or at least made it this far. Now it's the fun part. Now it's the before and after shot. It is the cinematics. I do hope you have enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.
How many smiles does it take to be happy? How many times do you have to feel lonely before you get the chance to meet someone, before you get to meet someone like you? How many songs can you write about heartbreak? How to go on when you're fed up with mistakes? Maybe I just found the answers. Maybe I just found the answers in you. Come give me all your love. I want you to know we can make it together. Let the wind blow. All we need is each other. Come take my hand. You're all that I have now. I won't let you go, 'cause I found all the answers in you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Take me away. I'm okay if I got you. We don't have to stay. We can do what we want to. Just give a little bit of your heart. Give a little bit of your heart to me. All of my scars start to heal when I'm with you, and I can't explain how I feel when I'm with you. Just give a little bit of your heart. Give a little bit of your heart to me. Just come give me all your love. I want you to know we can make it together. Let the wind blow. All we need is each other. Come take my hand. You're all that I have now. I won't let you go, 'cause I found all the answers in you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Take me away. I'm okay if I got you. We don't have to stay. We can do what we want to. Baby, I just found the answers. Baby, I just found the answers in you.